Well, good morning to you once again. The bulk of the show today will be coming from KZN, Durban to be exact, and that's where Leanne Manis is this morning. And Durban seems to be on a roll. It seems like just yesterday we were announcing that the 2022 Commonwealth Games will be hosted by Durban. And now the 14th World Forestry Congress starts in Durban today, the very, very first time that it's taking place on African soil. So quite good news if you're in that part of the country. And it seems the weather is also celebrating there. Leanne, a very good morning to you. What can you tell us?
Thanks very much, Ayanda. Yes, indeed, coming to you from Durban. In fact, we're at the convention centre, the Albert Nkosi International Convention Centre here in Durban. And in, I suppose, a couple of, let's say an hour or so, this place is going to be a hive of activity with everybody arriving for the start of this World Forestry Congress that's taking place here for the first time on African soil. And what a vital congress it is to be having in South Africa, I suppose in Africa as well. I mean, what it does mean for the continent is something very, very big. When you look at the fires that we have here in South Africa, we have about 4,000 wildfires every single year. And of course, this is not good for us. It truly isn't good for our forests and our tree life here in the country. It's estimated that about 50% of all forest losses are actually attributed to these wildfires that happen. But there's some phenomenal organizations, like the organization that I'm joined by now, the government-owned program Working on Fire, basically was designed to alleviate poverty, give some job creation to some unbelievable individuals that dedicate their entire lives to fighting these fires. And these are the individuals that go out and ensure that they control these fires and the devastation caused by them is not as big as they possibly could be. Well, joining us now is Linton Rensburg, Working on Fire's National Communications Manager. So lovely to have you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Well, thank you. Good morning, Leanne. Certainly, I think for us it's a very proud moment in South Africa, the fact that we are here to show and tell the Working on Fire program. Working on Fire is essentially a government program to create work opportunities for young men and women, but most importantly, our contribution towards saving the environment. And what we are doing here today on a global platform is to explain and to show to the world how, through integrated fire management, you can effectively manage fires in your forest. Forest is an important part of the economy of South Africa, of Africa, and indeed of the world. And what we're saying as a program and as Working on Fire, you need to have an effective fire land management policy in place. And you need to do that through community fire awareness activities. You need to do that to doing your prescribed burning, reducing your fuel loads in the forest, and just making sure that your community takes ownership around the forest. But importantly, I think the Working on Fire program now in its 12th year of existence is one of our most successful expanded public works programs. Young men and women, 90% of them between the age of 18 and 35, that have been trained to become full-time veld and forest firefighters, specifically to implement integrated fire management services and products. And you will know that in July and August, we managed to take 48 of these young men and women to Canada, where they were part of an international group of firefighters to help Canada with their forest fires. So already we were able to export the successes of the Working on Fire program on a global platform.
That's fantastic. And I know it's been, the organisation has been lauded internationally for the work it's doing. Environmental Affairs Minister Ed Malewa has been talking about the work that you guys are doing. So you obviously are doing something right. But let's turn our attention to why we're here and this World Forestry Congress. We talk about it being a first for Africa, but I mean, for an organisation like yours, what does it mean to host this Congress, and what are you guys going to be doing? How will you be participating?
Well, importantly, I think for us that we are able to, on a global scale again, present integrated fire management as a clear solution to the devastation that fires can cause to forests. So obviously we are here to interact with all the various forestry industries, with the various governments. Tomorrow we are hosting a World Cafe on integrated fire management right here, where we are also going to present our solution and the model Working on Fire that we believe can be exported and implemented on a global scale. We also have an exhibition, Working on Fire exhibition here, where we will be engaging with a whole number of the delegates here, but also more importantly, I think, talk about the successes of the program that can be implemented in Africa as well as in the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think what's so refreshing about the organization is the fact that 80% of your employees are young. When we talk about young, what age are we dealing with?
Well, the 18 to 35 age group, that is critical as part of the expanded public works program of government to create work opportunities for that particular age category. So more than 90% of our firefighters are within that age category. But most importantly, 30% of our firefighters are women, which is the largest percentage of firefighters, of women firefighters within the firefighting services worldwide. So I think that is a significant part of the government's mandate to create work opportunities for young men and women. And these firefighters are full-time. They are not volunteers. I think it's important. But also they are very skills that we train them in, not only in firefighting, how to engage in communities, to help communities. I think during June and during July, during the Nelson Mandela Day, for instance, our firefighters, 6,000 of them throughout the country, went into old age homes, went into various community halls and helped local communities with social issues. So it's a broader program, and that we're saying as government, but most importantly as working on fire, a program that, yes, can create work opportunities, but importantly also can make a significant contribution towards protecting our environment.
Let's talk about equipment, because I know that has been quite an issue, and it was something that's been spoken about when it comes to the just generally fire stations around the country and firefighters around the country crying out for more assistance, crying out for more equipment. I mean, I know I visited one of the fire stations in Johannesburg. They had one fire engine to fight fires in the whole of the area that they're in. And when we were there, in fact, they were out trying to fight a fire out on the east rand of Johannesburg, and this was dedicated to the north rand of Johannesburg. The northern suburbs of Johannesburg, do you encounter the same thing? How is it for you? I mean, do you get enough support to fight these 4,000 wildfires that we talk about in South Africa annually?
Well, Leanne, essentially working on fire is about fighting veld and forest fires. So our work is specifically concentrated on veld fires and forest fires. And obviously the equipment we use, we provide all our firefighters with full personal protection equipment, that they are safe, that when they go out to any of these fires, they're also provided with vehicles to transport them to these particular fires. The issue around the structural firefighting issues, that's something that unfortunately I'm not in a position to comment on, but I think from our side, in terms of working on fire, we've got full safety equipment that we provide to our firefighters. We also have very clear occupational health and safety standards that we have to uphold. And when our firefighters were in Canada recently, our 48 firefighters from working on fire, it was our reports that we received from the Canadian firefighting authorities is that our fitness levels, our health and safety levels on the fire line are up there with the rest of the world. So I think from that point of view, we are actually very proud of the program.
That's fantastic. And also one of the leading ones in the world, because you're telling me that to have this amount of dedicated firefighters in one organization that are not volunteers but that are full-time is very unique, and you don't find that in many countries in the world.
Well, we are one of the few countries in the world that has a full-time veld and forest firefighting service. But importantly also, this is since 2003 that the Working on Fire program has been established. Started off with 850 firefighters, today over 6,000, working on fire being implemented by the Kisugu group of companies, which is in total just about 9,000 firefighters in various parts of the world, apart from the 6,000 in South Africa. So the model of working on fire is already being implemented on a global platform by the Kisugu group of companies.
Give us an idea, just to sort of start wrapping, some of the great achievements. I mean, some of those fires that you guys have gone out there and I suppose selflessly have fought, putting your lives at risk.
Well, I think the most recent fires we've had in the Western Cape in March, which was one of the worst fires we've had in many, many years, the Working on Fire program was quite instrumental in having firefighters on the ground. We managed to mobilize more than 200 firefighters from across South Africa also to go to the Western Cape. So I think that those particular fires that the Western Cape experienced and that were witnessed in South Africa and on a global platform, we're very proud of the fact that our firefighters played a significant role in that fire suppression efforts down in the Western Cape.
Well, congratulations. Looking forward to the parade, I believe, that's going to be happening on the street behind us a little bit later on this morning of the Working on Fires guys that'll be here representing what we're doing here in South Africa. Thank you very much for talking to us on the program. Linton Rensburg is the National Communications Manager for Working on Fire. All right, so we'll continue to bring you some more information about forests and the World Congress, the World Forest Congress that's going to be kicking off at around about, I suppose, a little bit later on this morning with our president, who is expected to officially open the Congress. Let's go back to our Johannesburg studios now. Tieti,